Hi, Small. So let's see. You have a question about someone that reappeared in your orbit. You want to know if your heart is safe. Let's take a look here. Um, Angels, answers, and guides help protect me, keep me safe, and watch over me. Help cleanse and clear the space and energy around me. Do the same for Small TV. I feel like you have an entity attached to you. One second, I'm gonna close the door so I can get have more privacy. I feel like you have an entity attached to you. It's in your room. I don't know if you live in a studio. You don't have to actually live in a studio. Um, but I feel like it's attached to you. And when entities are attached to us, they can give us a lot of anxiety. They can even lead us to like depression or even drug addiction. Cleansing and clearing an entity off of us is very, very important. All right. So I feel like you have one. Sometimes when we have an entity attached to us, um, it could give fill us with a lot of anxiety. Oh yeah, that's what I felt. That's where I see you actually. It's in your room. But when we have an entity attached to us, it can fill us with a lot of anxieties, and this could be why you're asking this question about this person, right? Because normally we know if like we like someone, or normally we know if someone that we are interested in is someone that that we want, right? When we're unsure about things, something's wrong with our like maybe your energy field, right? Maybe something's attached to you. So I feel like you have an entity attached to you, Small TV. Um, and if you want to work on clearing it, sometimes when we are in meditation, we can contact the entity and ask it to leave. Sometimes when we're saging, we can cleanse it that way. But I feel like you have an entity attached to you, and wanting and clearing it is important. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, we have the six of autumn for this question. If it's safe, I feel like it is safe, but your heart feels a little bit like hesitant. um, your heart feels a little bit hesitant. Like it doesn't really want to open up. This could be due to the entity attachment, but I feel like it has to do something maybe with your life. I feel like this connection specifically, like sometimes when we have like I don't know, an ex come back or someone that we used to be interested in come back in our life, even if we're not even if that's not what's best for us, we may second guess ourselves and think we should pursue it because we see it as a sign. I feel like you are looking at I feel like you are looking at uh I feel like you are looking at this person coming back into your orbit as a sign that you're meant to be together or you're meant to try it. Or, sometimes when you like tell someone you're not interested in them and then they come back years later and you think maybe I made a mistake. I'm not saying it's exactly that, but when we start second guessing yourself, I feel like there's a need for you to go within and do some meditation. But I feel like your heart is generally safe to like, to like maybe open up to this person. Um, but because of what's happened in the past, you seem to be a little bit resistant to that. With the Knight of Summer here and the Fool, I feel like this could be I feel like this could be like this message is like this person could be a stepping stone, so you may be taking more risk than love. So if you feel interested in this person, or if you feel like there's someone that you should pursue, or they feel like it's someone like maybe I had feelings for you in the past, I never like told you about it, try something like that. And it's going to help you build like on that where you take more risks than love. Okay, with the overall energy being the two of winter, this kind of feels um it kind of gave it kind of gave me a feeling um of like cold. Winter for me is like it's very cold out. Like things freeze, things die in the winter, right? Um, I feel like with the two of winter being your overall energy, um, for this question, um, I you could be looking for maybe a renewal, right? But I feel like don't be like if you this connection, like let's say you take a risk towards it and this connection doesn't work out, don't think negatively of that, right? If you want to take more risks in love, take more risks. But take more risks. But I messaged you with that two of winter. It's sometimes when things like go like I don't know, like when things tend to like go on withdrawal. Um oh, okay, okay, sorry. Sometimes when things like sometimes when we like I don't know, we may be in a little bit of a funk. Um we may like take a second look at people. That's kind of what I say. Sorry, I'm gonna pull some more cards on that. Um, Sometimes when you pick up on entities, they can attach to you or come after you. So I'm just gonna ask Archangel Michael, or at least I hope Michael, to do a clearing on the space here. So let's take a look here. Is small TV's heart safe? Okay. We have the Queen of Spring. We have the Two of Autumn, and it also came out with the Nine of Spring here as well. I feel like the connection is meant to like help jumpstart you a little bit. It's this may not even be like I know it sounds crazy, like, even anything to do with them. You know, so like this person, maybe you had feelings for them, maybe things I don't know. You have feelings for them, and like maybe they help reignite your spark when it comes to love, right? So maybe you didn't even have love on your mind for a while, right? But all of a sudden they're back in your life and you're starting to think about love again, and you may go in a different direction. There's a message here. It's like this person I feel is meant to help reignite something in you, or can help reignite something in you. um Thank you, thank you. Anyway, the Two of Autumn reverse with the Nine of Spring reversed here as well. It's a Seven of Summer. Okay. I feel here, there's just a message that comes through from spirit. If you want love, you're gonna have to fight for it as well, right? So don't be afraid about that. I hope this message is clear. It's just like I feel like this person's coming in to like like move you, right? And it's like they're meant to help move you, and it's like it's like it's up to you kind of what direction that they move you in, but it feels like they're meant to help reignite something in you. If I were to give you like like a summary, I feel like this person was meant to help you remind you that you want love, so that you actually go after it, and you remind yourself that it really inspires you. But I'll leave it like that. Let's see, is there anything else for small TV? Any other questions that you have, by the way, small TV? I will say it just because it comes through. Be careful with reopening your heart. Be careful with like the ideas around that as well. Um, like it's like sometimes we wanna, I don't know, like maybe push yourself a little bit, right? Only do what feels right to you, right? There's a message that kind of comes through. What if you only opened up your heart to one person? Would it be this person, right? Or for me, I did it for myself, but there's a message here about that. All right. But if you want to reopen your heart, feel free, right? But make sure you do it for the right reasons or for the right person. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. What is this person's intentions for small TV? What's this person's intentions for small TV? Okay, let's take a look here. Okay. We have Princess of Winter. Interesting. We have the Three of Autumn. Oh, and we have the Ace of Winter with the Nine of Spring. I feel like they have good intentions. I don't feel like they're gonna throw negative energy at you. I do feel with the entity attached to you, it fills us with a lot of anxiety. I don't know if you've ever had a clearing on yourself, but when you get a clearing on yourself and you finally are free of the entities, right? Um, you feel so much better. You actually feel very high vibrational. You remind yourself like you just like you feel more in your element. You feel more like yourself again. You're not plagued by like addictions and stuff like that or the anxieties. I feel like the entity you have attached to you makes you feel these negative things towards people. I don't think this person has any negative intentions towards you. Um, I don't think they actually have any at all, right? But when we have an entity attached to us, it makes us think that, or it makes us feel that way, or it makes us feel like negative energy is coming from someone when it's just the entity itself, right? Um, uh, my message to you is like if you haven't got a clearing before, work on getting it clearing. There's a recommendation that comes through to light a candle and ask with the intention of the candle when you light it every day for 7 days to cleanse all entities off of you and all low vibrational entities or beings off of you. They say low vibrational entities off of you, and you're going to slowly start to feel better. But if you haven't got a clearing and felt what that feels like to be completely clear, it's very, very difficult for me to describe what you're missing out on or how you should feel, right? Some people have been plagued by entities their whole life, right? So they don't know, right? The difference between being clear versus like having one, okay? I feel like these anxieties or these questions you have towards this person stem from the entity itself, not necessarily the person. I think this person's fine, right? I don't think they're like maybe they're not the one, right? But they're not the person that they're not the reason why you feel these anxieties. I feel like the entity you have is the reason why there's some anxieties there, and I feel like it's linked to your room. Like I feel like, like the way I see it is actually in your room, like near the middle, right? Like where a fan would be, like there. Okay. Anyway, we also had the Nine of Spring with the day before summer. Okay, let's see. I feel like they know they have feelings for you, but they don't know what that means, and they're trying to figure it out. And that's like that's kind of where this person is. They're not saying sorry. They're like I don't know the expression is like you know when you like when you fish in the ocean and you cast a line into the ocean and you're waiting for a fish to bite. That's kind of where this person is. It's like they're throwing some I don't know if it's bait at you, and they're seeing if you bite. And if you bite, then they're gonna actually take it a step further. So I feel like their intentions right now are to see if you are also interested in them, or if you're open to something with them. And if you are, they're gonna work on the next steps. Okay. Um, but again, like work on clearing the entity, and you're gonna feel so much better. We have the Six of Spring. Is there any last message, please, for small TV? Do you feel like I've answered your question? Oh, what other question do you have? Oh, let's take a look here. Angels answer, guys, can you help me open up Small TV's Akashic Records? So we can ask the question if she can channel late loved ones. I get a yes, but they recommend more of a direct connection than the one you currently have, right? Sometimes when you channel like a loved one, you're just channeling maybe some of their energy or some of their thoughts, right? But when you're talking to them directly, I hope this makes sense. It's like you can pretty much channel anyone, right? You can channel celebrities, right? Or you can channel your mom, or you can channel living people too, right? But when you talk to someone directly, like you're directly talking to someone, you're getting direct replies from the person, right? You're not getting you're not getting their channel message. Does it make sense? There's a message here if you really want to channel loved ones or talk to loved ones or ones that have passed. They recommend that you directly contact them, like through your mind's eye or through your own spiritual communication. And when you directly contact them, you can get direct messages from them. So it's like, how does this make sense? It's like me, I'm just like kind of channeling at times, right? But when you're getting a direct message from, like, let's say one of your guides, right? Or someone from the other side, right? You're getting a direct reply. Does that make sense? It's like, I hope this makes sense. It's like you're just drawing on their energy normally, right? But when but when but when you're like talking to them, you're getting like a direct, a DM instead, right? So it's like you're just like kind of getting a synopsis, maybe a summary of what they would say, right? But when you're directly contacting them, you're getting a direct message. So they recommend you contacting a loved one directly. They say at times we may have fears to contacting the other side. Like, let's say you have a fear of ghosts or a fear of spirits, or like hauntings and stuff like that, or you're afraid that, like, you might see them and it gets scary. That's normally the one, right? So sometimes we don't want to directly contact a deceased one or a loved one that's passed, right? Um, my message to you is, if you are interested in that, if you're interested in that, work on your fears to contacting the dead. And when you work on those fears, you're going to start to overcome, right? Any anxieties that you have that are keeping you from directly contacting them. Um, I recommend this because this comes through from my own inner knowing. Um, they recommend that you they recommend that you look at like your past experiences with ghosts, right? I don't know if you've had any like experiences where you got really scared and you just like blocked yourself off from, your spiritual connection. But they recommend that you look more deeply at like your past experiences with ghosts, specifically the scary ones that you haven't fully healed from, and work on facing those fears and healing that. Um, and you're going to feel much better about contacting them directly. Because when you're talking to a spirit directly, you're literally talking to them directly, right? When you, when, sorry, uh, when you're scared to do that, you won't be able to contact them directly. You won't be able to face them directly. You won't be able to receive that direct message from them. So work on any fears you have to the other side, any fears you have to ghosts and I don't know, like like sometimes like even like demons and stuff like that can close us off, right? Work on those fears, and you're gonna slowly start to be more open to your spiritual connection and to your ways in which you can contact the other side spiritually. Okay. When I try to channel, I feel I'm having to ask to connect through other spirits to get. Yes, that's actually something I really needed. When we have blocks to spirit or blocks to the other side, we use go between. So you may use angels, and so angels may contact the other side, and you may have like two. Is it intermediaries? I don't know if that's the word. Instead of directly being you, so you may feel like your guides are contacting them instead of like you, which is normal, right? Sometimes that happens, right? It's because you may have a block there, or you may be scared, right? Or you may freak them out. You don't want that, right? So when we so that's very normal to have your guides or your angels, which I actually see like an angel actually doing it for you. An angel is actually contacting them for you, so it's actually very important. Um, so I want to thank you for that. Let's see. So anything else when it comes to this? Like, get him and might not get him directly. Okay, sorry. When I try to channel, I feel I'm having to ask to connect through other spirits to get him, and it might not get to him directly. It's very normal. They will get back to you. Is kind of what I want to say. I don't really feel like they're busy. If that's sorry if you know what I mean, but sometimes we can have blocks there. They're giving this up because sometimes this does happen. There's certain like, how like there's planetary shifts, right? Or there's like different shifts and like for the solar system. right? Sometimes our connection can wane, or we may have more blocks like certain times of the year. So let's say like I know it sounds crazy because I'm using a tarot deck that has a lot of, that has like the 4 seasons in it. Sometimes we can have more blocks in the winter than we normally would expect to have, right? To spirit or our guides, right? So there's a message here about like understanding that sometimes certain times of year, or certain years of in the calendar, right? We may have bigger blocks to our spiritual connection than normal. So just keep that in mind. So you may feel like at times you can't reach your father or someone you're trying to channel directly. It's because maybe that time, that year, right? Like we have, like numerology, that year has more blocks than other years for you. Okay. So I just want to like have that understanding. All right. Um, let's see. Did I, sorry. So I feel like you do channel them. I feel like you use an intermediary. I feel like it is an angel. So you can trust the messages that you're getting, but work on connecting to them more directly. And you're going to slowly start to feel like you're actually talking to them. And you actually are, by the way. It's actually really cool. It's something that you would want, technically, right? It's your links to the other side. But work on the blocks that you have. I feel like the entity could also play as a block, but sometimes we tend to lump stuff together. So, like, let's say you've had a bad experience with an evil spirit, right? So you tend to lump all spirituality or all maybe like all spiritual experiences to that negative one, right? So try to separate them. Know that it's not all black and white out there, right? It's not all good either, right? Um, try to separate, try to like come to the understanding that not every spiritual experience is going to be a great one, or not every spiritual experience can be a great one, right? Some of them you're asking an entity or a demon to let someone go, right? There's just a message here about sometimes when we have a very strong negative experience to the other side, we may close off entirely to it. Okay. So that's the kind of experience you want to heal from. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Is there anything else you need, Small TV? The entities often plague us with really bad thoughts. So just know the bad thoughts that you have are probably almost directly connected to the entity, or directly connected to something to do with the entity, right? I feel like the one that's in your room, the center, right? It's at near like near the middle of the room. There I actually feel like, because I come from like a spiritual standpoint, we want to say no, it's not dangerous, right? But in reality, I know firsthand having things attached to us that are not healthy for us can like topple us over, right? They can, they can wreck your life, right? I even got like I even got evicted, right? Because I had an entity attached to me. And when we have entities attached to us, they can really plague our lives, especially if you are very open spiritually. So you want to make sure that you're completely clear before you start to do any kind of spiritual work, especially contacting the other side. You want to make sure it's not dangerous for you or for anyone you're contacting. So the entity being near you, is dangerous, right? But the danger isn't immediate, or the danger isn't like maybe isn't physical, right? But it can like lead you to drug addiction, or it can lead you to negative thoughts, or it can lead you to pushing people away that you need to be getting closer to, right? And message to you is entities have a very negative impact on us, right? Very bad one as well. So clearing them as fast as possible is key. But know that your life isn't in immediate danger, right? But it is plaguing you with negativity, right? It is making you think negatively as well, and it's also likely hindering your connection to your guides. Okay, so oh, so that's all I really have for you. A small TV. Is there anything else that you need? Any other questions on the entity? That sounds good. They recommend when you feel ready, you can even channel the entity itself and then ask it to leave or ask it why it's there. Um, and ask it ask it why it's there, and then you can encourage it to leave. I do recommend that you don't take any yeses. Right. Make sure you're very firm in telling the entity that you want it to go. Make sure that you make it very clear that you don't need anything from the entity as well. There's a message that keeps coming through from the entity itself, where it's giving you something or it's helping you in some way. You have beings of light for that, right? You have your guides for that. You have an angels for that, right? You don't need this entity to do this for you, right? Especially with all the negativity. Um, so my message to you, small TV, is if you want to channel it so that you can ask it to leave, you can do that. I also feel like there is another entity attached to you that's linked from your ancestral side. I see it more maybe on your mom's side, but it feels off, like it comes from another lifetime. Um, it comes from a lifetime. So I feel like you also have another one there, okay? But I'll leave it there. Sorry, um, Muji, I do not I'm logging off right after this. I'm gonna thank you, Small TV. I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, you can email me. Um, thank you so much for your support and take care. Bye.